All right, y'all, I recorded this on the 9th of November 2025. Remember when I told you all that I thought that the year 2026 was going to be a wild card? Like I had no clue what was going to happen that particular year. 2025 has been such a disaster. It's gone in a direction worse than I thought it would. I knew that 2025 was not going to be a good year. I just didn't know to the extent that I was going to be correct. So I thought, okay, 2026 will probably even things out for a little while. And I thought that till I saw the increased job losses, the increased evictions, the increased starvation, the increase in planes falling out of the sky, both private planes and cargo. I would say cargo planes. Excuse me, I don't mean to yawn. So what happened is because this year was such a disaster. Because right now I'm still living 2025 as of this recording, so I can just call it a disaster. I'm going to give you the 10 predictions that I have for the year 2026. Some of this stuff, okay, or a lot of it, or most of it, matter of fact, are things that we're going beyond baby steps, and unless you're really paying attention, you're gonna miss it. But it to me, it's the blueprint for what you're going to see from here on out. So, without further ado, I'm going to get to those 10 things. And I want you to look for clues to protect yourself and protect the communities you plan to build. So, let's get to it. Number 10, porch pirate kleptos. See, this is why I'm glad to live in a difficult place to find on a dead end street, because I can about deduce who took something from me based on my location, even if I don't personally know you. Remember the lady who ordered groceries, I think, from Walmart? She's a single mother, $200 worth groceries. The groceries arrived, so since they arrived, Walmart couldn't be sued. Somebody went and took them off her porch. See, it's hard to know if the delivery driver did that or if somebody had been watching her house. Because your porch is empty most of the time and you use it just to enter in your house and exit your house, the easiest way to steal, at least for people who like to steal, who don't think these things through, or don't realize you may have cameras hidden somewhere, and I'm hoping sincerely that y'all do. The easiest way to steal from you without getting too much attention, assuming no cameras are around, is being a porch pirate. Because what they can do is cover up their license plate, quickly put on a mask, go snatch the stuff from your porch and run. I don't say this to scare you, because y'all, I get a lot of packages delivered, and I have to due to my home business. And some of that stuff, for some reason, Amazon must be smart, because a lot of it shows up now shortly after I arrive home. So that package can be sitting there only maybe 2 minutes, but that's all it would take for some criminals. What I'm saying is 2026 is the year that I predict that porch pirates are going to continue to grow. And we're going to see this in the news, and they're going to get bold and brazen. That doesn't mean that there's no one in that house on the other side of that door with a weapon to pew-pew you. That doesn't mean there aren't random cameras hiding somewhere. Porch pirates don't think about these things. A camera can be in the most minuscule place that you would never know filming you. That's not gonna stop them, because they want the ability to take something from you without directly having to harm you to do so. And so they're gonna step up their game by just taking it off of your porch. So to arm yourself for 2026, it's advisable right now while you still can to get very discreet cameras and put them in spots where people don't think you will. Because someone who delivers your stuff can also be watching your house. Is that paranoid? Yes, but for all we know, they can take the pictures and show that they put the groceries or whatever there. Then they can skedaddle with them down the road. This happened with me, I think, back when I was on app. I'm not gonna say which one I was gonna name it, a food ordering app. I told that kid exactly how to come to my house, and he purposely kept circling around and playing stupid. He was close to my house a couple of years ago during the pandemic, then disappeared. To this day, I think that kid took my food for himself because he didn't want to deliver it to my house. It was already paid for. That's what I call the pre-porch pirate. I think I got a refund, but it was still the principle of it. How did you get so close to my house, then decide to turn around, and when I'm saying, hey, look, and you're just ignoring my phone calls because he knew he was going to keep that food. That's why. You got to be careful about that with these apps, because these people aren't getting paid enough anyway. But yeah, porch pirates, I went too long on that tangent. Look forward to them increasing. Most of them do it out of selfishness though, but still, be on the lookout for that. Number 9, monitor dark stores. When you go to the grocery store and the parking lot you are in at that grocery store with the delivery trucks, if you look around and the food delivery that they have in that parking lot, if those trucks are the equivalent of at least 1/4 of the room of that parking lot, at some time in the future, whether the 2026 up until whenever, they're going to turn that into a dark store. Don't tell me, oh no, Tara, they're just doing it because in this area there's been an increase. No. Dark stores are coming where they're going to put things on shelves, they're going to shop for you, and they're never going to let you walk inside. If you go to your local, any grocery store, because I don't think they're all going to do it. The upscale neighborhoods with master plan communities won't, because they're going to know whether you belong in that community or not. Go look in that parking lot and look at how many delivery trucks is there. If you see delivery trucks that equal 1/4 or more of the room of that parking lot, because they have to save some room for when the workers come in and stock the shelves in the future, assuming they don't have robots and a few people know AI, they're about to turn that into a dark store. Meaning if you thought you was going to flash mob and go in there and take stuff, you're not anymore. Either you know and understand that you have to get groceries delivered to you, or you're going to have to live in a neighborhood where it's a good food bank, or you're already living in an upscale neighborhood where the dark store narrative doesn't pertain to you. Even in one store out here in Washington, a specialty store that I like to get good specialty foods, place has always been expensive. I don't think they'll become a dark store, but what they're doing is making their prices so high that if you are a certain type of person, it's going to get increasingly harder for you to shop there. Won't say which one that is either, because I don't want to be a target. Go to local grocery stores if you got the gas money and time, and pay attention to if they have 1/4 or more of their parking lot filled with delivery trucks. They're not just doing that for convenience. They're doing that because eventually you won't be able to walk into that store anymore. Some robotic hand, something is going to move your stuff on a conveyor belt, then it's going to get delivered to you. Is it an autonomous vehicle? I don't know. Is it a human doing it? I don't know. That's how they're going to cut back on flash mobs when starvation kicks in. Number 8. If you haven't figured this out by now, then you're making yourself a target. Flossing is cute if you live in a neighborhood full of people who have the same stuff you have and have no reason to steal from you. Flossing is unattractive when you go doing it in poor neighborhoods to show people what you have, what you can do. Because all they're going to do is see you as a target and see these criminals are getting smart. Some of them are no longer going to opportunistically come in for you. My prediction for 2026 is that if you are a flosser and you're known to go into certain circles, they're going to watch you to figure out how to infiltrate your circle, or if you're by yourself, to figure out how they can ambush and take something from you. And you're not going to see it coming because you flossed. You're going to make yourself the easiest target. This and the easiest and the obvious. This one I shouldn't even had to put on the list. It should have been common sense to y'all. That this ideal that you gonna show off and have all these things, and it's not a bad thing to work hard, to have luxury. You need to know how to do it in a manner that does not make you a target. I predict that a lot of people who are listening to this are only hearing but not listening. And therefore what they're going to do is continue to go on the streets and show off, and it's going to be an increase in pew and in knifings and things like that. Kidnappings, not so much, but you're flossing. You're going to see that you are a target. I predict that. And we'll see that in the news more often than we ever have. Number 7, underestimating people will be a mistake. What happened this year in 2025 should have shown y'all and told y'all that people who you thought you can trust, you can't really trust them. I'm not preaching to you right now at all. I'm telling you to understand preparation instead of paranoia. That don't mean you look over your shoulder and assume that everybody's out to get you. No. Because of circumstances, whether people are starving, whether people are desperate to keep a job, whether people are desperate to keep a roof over their head. Don't underestimate what they'll do to you because you have what they perceive they deserve. This is more of watching out for entitled people who might target you. This is one of those things where I predict that a lot of people are still not going to have their head on a swivel, and there's going to be more crimes, more unalivings, more knifings, etc. Because some people are still going to see the good in people when there are clear signs that that person isn't as nice as you think they are. So what you're going to end up doing is hurting yourself because you're assuming something about someone or about a situation, and because your radar isn't up, what you call your discernment, is going to get you hurt. 2025 should have taught you you can't underestimate people by no means, even though some of the ones close to you, not all, but some. Just get ready for more people to get hurt, even if they're not unalived, because they still decided to trust people who clearly have shown they can't be trusted. Number 6, this thing. This is the one that's going to be the ultimate distraction. First it was the Stanley Cup, and now this whole barista thing. Don't underestimate the establishment of consumerism in this country's ability to create these financial things to keep you distracted while they're getting ready to take your rights away from you. Because it absolutely boggled my mind that people got up at 2, 3 in the morning and camped out at a Starbucks in the cold, and sometimes in the rain if they did it in the greater Seattle area, because we got some unforgiving cold rain this time of year. I won't say type of year, which is autumn, my bad. for a $30 glass bear with a mug and a straw. This is at the low level we've come. And look, I'm not knocking you if you did it. I'm saying the principle is that there's an element to that is a distraction. Some of these people were sitting outside the door and they made this thing so exclusive. They were sitting out. Oh, we only have 2 to 3, so you just couldn't tell people that before they woke up. No. See, I'm a Starbucks head, so I have to be careful because I absolutely love Starbucks and I go several times a week. Okay, because I make that type of money. There was a time when I could only go to Starbucks maybe 1-2 times a month because for my budget back then it was so expensive. So please understand my criticism of them is going to be hard. If you've heard of things like Hey Tea and Lucan Coffee, Starbucks is falling off of its once dominant pedestal. Anytime a business wants to survive, and that's any business, and this transcends Starbucks, the common sense should tell you that they're going to pull financial stunts like this to keep their numbers growing, to test and to see ways to continue to cut back and ways to continue to grow. And you are just casualties in their little stupid game, because there are people who got these stupid bears online. Yeah, they're stupid. I don't care. It's a free country. I'm entitled to my opinion. I shop at Starbucks. I like Starbucks. I just think that this stunt, y'all, is stupid. But it's equally stupid that you decided to lose your sleep in a world that's getting a lot more dangerous, and camping out and letting your body freeze for a glass container shaped like a bear. This rant is not about the bear itself. This rant is more of, this is some crap y'all gonna continue to do because it's easy to distract you. So my prediction is we're gonna see more of this grandstandings from all of these different corporations. And all these hangers-ons and all these crazy people will just be crazy enough to go out here and waste and spend all their money off of this good advertising and propaganda. Even when they know that it's hard for them to eat and have things. You're going to do this because I have a feeling that middle class and borderline poor people were the ones sitting out there doing this. People in the know with common sense wouldn't have participated in that. The point is that in 2026, we're going to see more of this, and we're going to see an increase of it as a distraction. You heard it here from me first. Number 5. We're going to see more YouTube videos, more TikTok videos, more Snapchat, more Instagram videos of people growing their own food. Now, when I say more, I mean a slight increase, because some of y'all still ain't going to learn from what just happened. You're not going to learn. We will see more of this content. We'll see an increase of people online in different states and around the world that don't know each other, giving people grow zone tips, telling people how to survive, how to make a fire, how to grow crops and how to eat in season, how to heal your body according to the land around you. So look for it. Even if you don't watch that content, it's going to show up in your feed more as a cautionary tale to let you know, even if you can't grow everything, you better grow something, and you better grow a robust community that's going to get you through these next few years. Because see, like a dark store, you can't go in and touch your produce like you once could. If you're like me and picky, like I'm picky with my onions and my potatoes. Now bananas, I would obviously have to play that game and have them delivered. Pineapple, yes, because that stuff don't grow in Washington State. So I would have to somewhat play the dark store game or go to an upscale store. Other than that, whatever you can grow that you haven't bought, you better start growing. And look forward to the fact, my prediction is that this content is going to show up in your feed. And it's going to show up as a warning to let you know to prepare. Now let's segue to something else. This is the year that I predict that people are now going to get outside, get neighborly, and that going to barter with people is going to be the norm. I plan to do it. It's odd because we have a neighbor and we told them they can come take apples off our trees and they won't do it for some reason. But I'm like, okay, that's free food. I was letting y'all know since we're in the neighborhood. So I'm obviously surrounded by people who don't see the worth in that. So, and that's okay. That's why I've started trying to build community outside of just my neighborhood. I think that that's what people are going to do with the thing. They're going to start bartering things more. Can you give me this for that? And it will not necessarily be cash transaction. That bartering is going to be, let's say, for example, I make soaps. I give you a whole loaf of soap for, say, 2 jars of jam. Content creators throughout the internet are going to push this narrative about bartering. Because I include myself, because that's what I plan to do, and people are going to start actively doing it. There's one in my community already, I think, called the People's Exchange. Oh, yes, I'm going to be all off in that as much as possible in 2026, helping people as much as I can, giving away free soap, seeing what these people have, and helping everybody in the best way that I can. This is the year that you need to start bartering and learning how to do it. Going back to the old way of things before this collapse comes. Because I don't care what they tell you. This year, 2025, was an indicator that a collapse is coming, whether you want to believe that or not. So get a skill so that you can barter something or barter some things and create connections. The third one is obvious. Don't get on an airplane if you don't have to. Understand that what happened in 2025, 2026 is going to be an extension of that. Unless something drastic happens to a family member, don't by any means. I don't care if it's private, I don't care if it's cargo, I don't care if it's a big jet, I don't care. Do not get on a plane if you don't have to. It's not my prediction that they're going to keep falling out of the sky. It's my prediction that they're going to find so many problems on the ground that you will have traveled to the airport to continuously find out that it's canceled before you can even get on it. The FAA wasn't going to let this go on for too long. All these planes constantly crashing. It was making the United States look bad. So what they're going to do is just cancel the flight before you can get on it. And you're not going to know till you were already dropped off at the airport. If you travel, continue to travel. By all means, do you. I'm predicting to you that the cancellations are going to skyrocket this year. Heard it from me first. If I'm wrong on that prediction, oh well. Okay. Number 2, I've talked about this too many times, so y'all know it's coming. I'm seeing videos online now of people saying what I've been telling people for the past 2 years on YouTube. To go out here and build communities. I predict that this is a year that the people who woke up and understand that the establishment don't care about them are going to do just that. And that it was no point of no return. They're not going to go back to business as usual and pretend that 2025 was a fluke and a nightmare. They're going to go and find ways to build and be in communities that's going to help them be better people in the future. Whatever that entails, that's what they're going to do. We're going to see an increase in content telling you how to build communities. And they're not just going to tell you to do it anymore. They're going to give you blueprints for how to do it. Receive the information. Take it in. Know that they're just trying to help you. And don't be one of those people that you think that avoiding it is going to help you. It's not. Now let's get to the number one, the one I know is about to offend some folks. And I'll tell you where I got this from, okay? Because you see the chocolate on the screen, right? Y'all know what's been happening in the United States, right? And I can name these three types of candy because it's been in the news. So you know what Mr. Good Bar is, you know what Rolo is, you know what Almond Joy is, right? The companies have come out and confessed that they changed the packaging from milk chocolate to chocolate candy. Why is that distinction important? Because milk chocolate means it's made with actual chocolate. Chocolate candy means it may or may not have been made with chocolate. Chocolate and coffee are going to be indicators and should have already been indicators to you. That's why I'm about to buy a big old crap ton of cocoa butter and make my own candy bars. Chocolate and coffee are the new indicators that you're going to pay a lot more money to get better stuff. If you eat that stuff that's been at a bargain price, they're still going to make y'all pay a lot more than you once did for it. And it's going to be low quality ingredients. I bought my husband some chocolates the day before on the 8th of November 2025 from a well-known chocolatier, the best in the state of Washington. I won't say right now which one it is. 5 of those truffles cost a lot of money. Won't say that either. Y'all need to know how much I spent on everything. But when you ate those truffles, you knew you were eating chocolate. See, me as a term of endearment, people who know me, who've received chocolate from me knows. When I send people chocolate, I'm sending you the best of the best, the high-end stuff. Why? Because that small amount has quality over quantity. Trust and believe most of the time moving forward. If you're buying something cheap, you're buying that cheap thing, that's because it's got some stuff in it that might be cancer causing or might not be good for your health or might have colorants in it. Hint, hint, Skittles was my favorite candy growing up. I won't eat them now. If you want as close to the real thing as possible, or actually the real thing, 2025 showed you, and that's why I told you about the Rolo, the Mr. Goodbar, and Almond Joy. 2025 was the indicator that whenever you want that high-end thing, you better be ready to pay the high-end price for it. Because I know people shopping at so-called bargain places and now paying the same prices they would at those places. I heard Goodwill is absolutely horrendous. Even reselling deodorant and already used shampoo for the same price or even higher than you would get at a high-end grocery store. Make it make sense, Sway. See, it doesn't bother me because I predicted years ago the United States was going to be about as expensive or more expensive than Switzerland. So I'm already pivoting and making moves. Be ready to have less and pay more and be satisfied with that. Not because having less means that you're poor, but because having the quality associated with some things that are less are in time, will in time make you a better person. That's why I use chocolate and coffee. Because to get the high-end stuff, you're going to pay money. All right, those are my 10 predictions. Take them however you want to take them. It's happening. So y'all need to be ready for what's coming down the road. If I'm wrong, come back at the end of 2026 and let me know I was wrong on some of these predictions. Some might have been out of the pocket, but y'all better be ready for what's coming, because it's about to be a bumpy ride. And if you thought 2025 was a horrendous year, it's some folk about to be real mad, real ticked off in 2026. All right, thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful day.